Okay, next let's look at everything in this categories section. Now, what's going to be interesting here is to differentiate between what is Ableton stuff and not Ableton stuff. Okay, so in this sounds category, this is going to be Ableton stuff. This is going to be basically all of your preset patches for all of your Ableton instruments. So your instruments are here. We'll get to those in just a second. But this has all your instrument presets organized in a different way. So it's the same stuff. You can get to the same things under instruments, but this has them organized by the type of sound they make. Okay? So if I go to sounds and I say I want a bass sound, I can go here, and these are going to be all my synthesizers, which are what Ableton calls instruments. All my synthesizer presets. Okay? And I can click on one and hear a sample of it. Okay? Now, important, if you don't hear that preview sound, then go down to the bottom here. This is where your preview sound is. Click this little blue headphone thing. If this is off, you're not going to hear the preview. Okay? So turn that on, make sure that's blue, and now you can actually use the arrow keys and just fly through this and find the sound you're looking for. So I'm just going to press down arrow. Cool. Let's say that's the one I'm looking for. Then I can load it. I can load it in two ways. I can drag it over onto either a MIDI track or an empty area, and it'll make a new MIDI track. And there it is. It loaded up. Or I can just double click on it and it's going to load it onto the selected track if it's a MIDI track. You can also just press return and it'll load it as well. If I get rid of this track by just pressing delete and I'm here, I press return and it's going to load that track. So it's really slick because you can say that's the one I want, load it. Boom. Really fast. Cool, huh? And that works for all of these. Okay, so I would use this sound category if I had a very specific sound I was looking for. So let's say, and I don't really care about what instrument I'm using. So let's say I want to get a percussive sound like a tom kind of thing. Then I might go here and look under percussive and tom. You can see in the end ADV, or some of these are ADG. These are different instruments. ADV is Ableton Device. ADG is Ableton Device Group. That means it's a rack. We'll talk more about that later. For this, doesn't matter. We don't care what it is. So, to summarize, the sounds category is Ableton stuff, all of the presets built into the instruments that you have in Ableton, but organized by the type of sound.